And we are live. It is the Saturday night's main event evaluation, Toronto Stevie Live. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry I didn't do the Smackdown summary last night, but I tried to stay up late to watch the show, but things happened and I didn't start late until late. And I just kind of like fell asleep. Anyway, we had another show tonight, Saturday night's main event. Like and subscribe to my channel. If you're watching live, leave a comment and let me know what you thought of Saturday night's main event tonight. I was able to tune in and watch, and this one um, came to you from, I believe, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Um, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett were the commentators, and they actually started it out with the 6-woman tag team match. You had the WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley, teaming with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, taking on the former champion, Jade Cargill, and her partners, B-Fab and Michin, Mia Yim. This one, um, you had Jade and Rhea starting the match, but then Jade did the heel thing by tagging out to one of her tag team partners, and you actually didn't have Rhea and Jade actually interacting until the end of the match. So you had the other girls really taking the bulk of this match. A lot of shine on BFAB, and Michin got a lot of um, offense on the baby faces. And I kind of thought, well, this obviously, if this is happening, it must mean the baby faces are going to win the match. Didn't happen this way. But, Jay did tag in when the other girls were in. There was a good showdown between Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill, and even the announcers teased, boy, this would probably be a good one-on-one matchup, and it probably would. I'd like to see that later on. But eventually you had the baby faces taking charge of the match, and actually this was again another one of those can they get along kind of moments between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. And at one point late in the match, they kind of did, beating up all of the heels. And then they posed in the ring, turning their backs on Jade Cargill. And Jade Cargill just kind of like took out all three of them. And this kind of led to their downfall, because then she just picked up Rhea Ripley and gave Rhea Ripley the jaded move, and Jade Cargill pinned. And so the heels actually win the match. These kinds of shows that don't celebrate in the ring, especially if you haven't taken out all of the heels, because you're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. Um, you had everyone's favorite backstage interviewer and mine, the very nice Kathy Kelly, interviewing All Ego Ethan Page ahead of his Intercontinental title match against Penta. Um, and then there was a backstage interview with Kathy. Then interviewed Sol Ruka ahead of their one-on-one non-title match against Becky Lynch. And then Becky Lynch. This led to the non-title match, and Becky Lynch's favorite referee, Jessica Carr, was refereeing this match. And it didn't go very much because uh, Sol Ruka was a house of fire, basically getting all of her flying moves on Becky Lynch. The announcers were teasing that she was trying to go for the Soul Snatcher, crossbodies and corkscrews, and trying to go for this Soul Snatcher move, but Becky Lynch would avoid it. Soul got most of this offense, and at one point, the referee was near the two girls in the corner. And I mean, this happened so fast that the announcers said that Becky Lynch shoved the referee into the path of Sol Ruka, which they were trying to sell it like Becky Lynch pushed Jessica Carr into the path of the Soul Snatcher by Sol Ruka, but it looked like a botch. It really didn't look like a Soul Snatcher. And, and right away, Jessica Carr called for the bell. And then Wade Barrett was saying, obviously, Sol Ruka has been disqualified for hitting the Soul Snatcher on referee Jessica Carr. But then you just heard ring announcer Lillian Garcia announcing winner of the match by disqualification, Sol Ruka. And even I had to question that, like, how did Jessica Carr realize that what Becky Lynch had done? This kind of happened so fast, and also it kind of looked like Sol Ruka botched the move. But nonetheless, Becky Lynch just grabbed her title, started walking up the rampway, and Sol Ruka was acting like she lost the match, even though Lillian Garcia announced she had won the match by disqualification. So as and um, so it actually does not look good on Sol Ruka that her first win on the main roster in WWE is a disqualification win. Um, just and that way, at least, they could work out some of the kinks and plan these matches and make the matches look better and get rid of the botches. Who do we got here? Anthony Chobo. How are you doing? It was a C average. Yeah, Anthony, like I said, what did you think? Sol Ruka versus Becky Lynch. It really was kind of a botch fest, especially the finish and a short match. And again, Sol Ruka's first match that she actually won a match on the main roster is a disqualification win. Doesn't look good on anybody in this match, even the referee. Anyway, we get a video of the Penta Ethan Page match, and then a history of the Intercontinental title. I always like these when they show the history of belts. And then coming back from a commercial. Oh, yes, and after the match, Becky Lynch just basically beat the piss out of Sol Ruka, and then posed with the belt. So, like, obviously this feud continues, but I just thought it was poorly done. So there's a backstage segment between Becky Lynch and Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis basically tells Becky that you're going to defend the title against Sol Ruka next Sunday at Clash in Italy. So they're only waiting 1 week for the rematch. And I really hope, like I said, I really hope they kind of work things out, make a better match, give them some more time, but work things out so that these kinds of botches, get rid of those, really. Kathy Kelly, probably the hardest working person here so far. Now she's interviewing the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and the Lash Legend, who vowed to win the tag team titles. And then coming back into the arena. And this is like one of those old, I really like when they do this. This is kind of like old school from like Madison Square Garden. They used to do this where they would drop the microphones from the ceiling. And it's for the Intercontinental title. The champion Penta defending the title against Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's own all ego Ethan Page. Lillian Garcia makes the ring introductions. The match gets going, and they talk about how on Saturday night's main event from 1992, Shawn Michaels defeated the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith to win the Intercontinental title. The only title change for the Intercontinental title in Saturday night's the main event history. Penta did a lot of his flying moves. He even did the Penta driver, his handstand into the corner, into a drop kick into the turnbuckle, and in the corner. You had Ethan Page trying to hit his finishing move, the Page Turner, I think it was called. But nonetheless, it was Penta who, near the end of the match, Ethan Page tried to remove the turnbuckles to get an advantage, but Penta was able to sidestep that. He hits the Mexican Destroyer and easily defeats Ethan Page clean, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and retain the Intercontinental title. Once again, in the locker room, Kathy Kelly is interviewing Brie Bella and Paige. They're talking about defending the titles. Paige saying she was never supposed to be here. It was supposed to be Nikki Bella, but they will nonetheless defend the tag team titles. Coming back from the commercial break, they announced that Saturday night's main event will in fact return to Madison Square Garden on July the 18th. So we got to wait about 2 months. It looks like actually just under 2 months before the return of Saturday night's main event, and this will be in Madison Square Garden, New York City. There's a video of the Street Profits ahead of their tag team title match, and when we come back to the ring, once again, Lillian Garcia is in the ring, and it's for the Women's Tag Team Championship. The tag team champions, Paige and Brie Bella defending the tag team titles against the irresistible forces of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. You basically had the bigger girls using all of their power moves to dominate Paige and Brie Bella. You had Brie Bella going to the top rope multiple times to try and take down the opponents, and you basically had Paige and Brie Bella trying to use a lot of double team moves because they realized that 2 people is better than 1. And the finish came, and it reminded me of something that Bobby Heenan once said years ago, which was, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. And this is exactly what the babyface tag team champions did in the match. Nikki Bella rolled up, I think it was Nia Jax, and behind the referee's back, Paige added some leverage for Brie Bella and enabling them to pin Nia Jax. Good heel cheating move by the baby faces to retain the tag team titles. And they quickly grabbed their tag team belts and ran up the ring apron, ran up the aisleway before anybody knew what happened. I just laughed when this happened. It's about time some baby faces use some cheating moves to take down the heel opponents. So when the match was over, the announcers ran down the card for Sunday's WWE Clash in Italy, and then announced that the next match was the World Tag Team Championship match. Before that, there was a locker room segment with Austin Theory and Logan Paul and Paul Heyman. And then after the commercial break, they said this was after Saturday night's main event, that the AAA show was going to take place at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Lillian Garcia is back again for the World Tag Team Championship match, and surprisingly, this was the match that main evented Saturday night's main event. I thought that the Penta Ethan Page match was going to main event the show, but they decided no. They decided to do the World Tag Team Championships. The champions, the Visions, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, defending the tag team titles against the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. This one, well, it was an okay tag team match, but I kind of agree with Anthony. Mediocre. It's okay. You had at one point Braun Breaker ran down to the ring to try to help out the other Vision members, but I think it was Angelo Dawkins. One of the Street Profits basically grabbed Braun Breaker and threw him over the announce table. You had Montez Ford trying to do his sky high splash from the top turnbuckle, but he only got a 2 count. They went for a finishing move on, I think it was Austin Theory, but Paul Heyman, fortunately, Austin Theory was near the ring apron, so Paul Heyman just reached in, grabbed Austin Theory's foot, put it on the bottom rope, and the referee saw it and broke up the count. And then I think it was Montez Ford went to try to go after Paul Heyman, but that's when Logan Paul, with the brass knuckles, knocked out Montez Ford, threw Montez Ford back into the ring, and that's when I think what's his name, Dawkins, he did a somersault out to take out Logan Paul, but he basically left Montez Ford to be pinned by Austin Theory inside the ring. And the winners of the match, and still the World Tag Team Champions, were the Vision. So that was Saturday night's main event. Like I said, it was an okay show. Nothing too special. Going into it, there really wasn't a headliner. Neither Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes were defending their world championships, so they did kind of have to work with what they got in this match. So that's a quick review. Nothing else really, other than promotion for Clash in Italy. Last night, on a quick 2-hour show of In Your Head Wrestling Radio, there we did kind of talk about some wrestling news. Brock Lesnar returning and the Ronda Rousey match, the 17-second victory over Gina Carano. But I didn't watch the AAA show, but they were promoting, I think it was next week. Next week, there's going to be a mask versus mask match, basically Chad Kaiser, leading into one of the main news shows, news stories. Apparently, Ludwig Kaiser, just on the eve of this AAA show, Ludwig Kaiser got arrested for some sort of altercation. Now, what actually happened with Ludwig Kaiser, really, no one's really quite sure. But apparently, Ludwig Kaiser got into an altercation, and so he was arrested following an altercation. This is from TMZ. Said arrested for allegedly kicking his neighbor's ass. Ludwig Kaiser, who, and I didn't even know his real name, um, but his real name is Marcel Bartel. And I thought, well, isn't that a French name? But and I'll need my glasses to read this. This is according to TMZ. Ludwig Kaiser landed in a heap of trouble after cops say he and his girlfriend couldn't keep their sex drives in check. Kaiser, real name Marcel Bartel, was arrested Wednesday for battery after he got into a physical he got physical with his neighbor inside a luxury building in Orlando, Florida. When the two men, according to police, live, according to police, in a report obtained by TMZ. Report says the incident popped off on the night of April the 23rd when the neighbor stepped inside an elevator along with Kaiser and the woman he was with. As the elevator ascended, Kaiser and the woman started making out right in front of the neighbor, and their passion grew to an uncomfortable, intimate level with their aggressive kissing. I've aggressively kissed a woman too, and no one really complained about it. When they reached the 12th floor, both parties allegedly got off the elevator, and the neighbor told the couple to please have some manners. Ooh. This comment triggered an angry response from Kaiser, who allegedly pummeled his neighbor and shoved him to the floor. Police say Kaiser also threatened the neighbor, who later reported the alleged assault to law enforcement. Cops identified Kaiser from security footage and arrested him Wednesday on a warrant for misdemeanor battery. Kaiser was booked into Orange County Jail and released after posting $1,000 bond. So remember, I think this might have been on Smackdown, the Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton feud, where I think Charlotte Flair made a comment about why is Ludwig Kaiser in my DMs? So I think whatever this unidentified woman was that was in the elevator with Ludwig Kaiser, I don't think it was Tiffany Stratton. It was probably, I think they did mention it in another report. Some other report might have mentioned this person's name. I can't remember what it was. I think she might be an NXT person, a ring announcer or something. I'm not sure, but this is only days ahead of the Mask versus Mask match, and Ludwig Kaiser was apparently in Mexico for the AAA show. There was an altercation between the Americanos on that show ahead of the Mask versus Mask match, but I have a feeling that whenever these kinds of things happen, you get some negative publicity. It's not very good. Usually for the person that gets arrested, and Ludwig Kaiser could find himself in trouble. We'll have to see whether or not, basically whether or not he's going to still have a job when this is all said and done. So also this weekend, tomorrow night, actually, I think it's going to be AEW Double or Nothing. We could see according to Fightful, we could see the return of Wardlow. Missed opportunity. There's a guy who's had a lot of potential, but nonetheless, every time something happens, and he just kind of gets put on the back burner. So let's see what else is going on here that I can find. Um, yeah, I can't find anything else. Can't find anything else to talk about. If there's any wrestling news, but you never know. Um, Something could happen tomorrow, and you never know. But uh, I'll end the show now. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and thank you, Anthony, for tuning in tonight. Um, we'll be back next week. Like I said, I kind of like this doing the raw reports ahead of and in your head. I try to tune in. I try to tune in and get on Friday nights when I can. But I'll be back probably with a raw report on Tuesday in the usual the now former In Your Head Wrestling Radio time slot. I'll try to get a raw report in, and if Nasty Neil is doing the show Friday nights at 6:05, I'll try to get on that as well. But nonetheless, thank you everybody, and I am out of here. Good night, everybody.